guys, it's Emma. Today I have a book review on The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Hodkin. I gave this one a 4 to 5. I loved it. It is about a girl named Mara Dyer, and she is in an accident where all her friends die except for her, and she has PTSD afterwards, and she's kind of hallucinating. There's just some weird stuff's going on. She doesn't know what's going on. So she moves to this new school, and other stuff starts happening, and it's just kind of crazy, and she meets this guy. And yeah, that's basically it. I really enjoyed this book. But, I gave it a high rating, not because, my rating is kind of biased, because the writing I found was average, characters kind of were like, meh, but the story is what I really liked, and that's where the 4 to 5 comes in. I'm kind of a sucker for like really creepy, screwing with your mind stories, and this was one of those kinds of stories, so the ending left me feeling that way, and I was just like kind of squealing with delight because I really loved it. And I don't know, just because of the story itself, I just really loved the whole thing. But there were issues with it that I will talk about. So it got off to a very good start, very creepy and mysterious, like what's going on, and then it kind of fizzed out for most of the book. I don't know, it's just, okay, it's told in first perspective of Mara, and she, as I said, she goes to a new school to try and get away from the accident, the whole thing, and she meets this mysterious guy there named Noah, and for like the majority of the book, it's them getting to know each other and like hanging out and stuff, and for a while, like I was waiting for something to happen. Like this is kind of a fairly big-ish book, and the majority of it was them just being together and getting to know each other. And like there was some creepy stuff happening here and there, but it was mostly them. And then I was like, so I was wondering like, well, what is this? Is this like a romance then? Like what the hell's going on? This is not what I thought it was going to be about. And then towards the end it picks up, some weird shit starts happening again, and then the ending's just like, whoa. So, but the whole middle part there with like Noah and Mara getting to know each other, I was like, I don't care. I just don't care. Just get on with the creepiness. So that was one thing I didn't like about it was, I don't know, I really focused on her and this guy for too long, I felt. I don't know, it's just, and I wasn't there for the romance because I didn't even think it was a romance, but apparently there is some romance stuff in it. So, yeah, wasn't a fan of that. I wish that it would have gotten over that quicker. But as I said, it does start to pick up after that, and you learn more about the characters and kind of what's going on with each of them. And then as I said, the ending was, for me anyway, it kind of like really shocked me. Like, honestly, the ending was kind of mind-blowing for me. It was just, I can't really say it, but if you read it, you may have felt the same way. The last line, I was like, yeah, it was so good. And, oh my god, so, I'm looking forward to reading up on that, because it's a trilogy, there's 2 more books, so I'm very much looking forward to figuring out what the hell is going on with Mara Dyer. Is she crazy or not? I don't know. So it's kind of exciting. So it's told in first person perspective of Mara Dyer. I think I already said that. Not sure. And that was, she kind of annoyed me. I don't know. I didn't particularly like her a whole lot. I don't know. I find a lot of YA books that do first person perspective, I always end up not liking the narrator, which sucks because that's your narrator. You have to know the story through them. So if you freaking hate your narrator, then you're going to kind of hate the story. Unless the story is really good that you can get over the narrator, which in this case it was. Because even though Mara Dyer really kind of, I don't know, I just didn't like her. I was like, I don't really care for you too much. I don't know. But the story, because the story was so kind of creepy and intriguing, I was able to get past that. I just kept reading. And also the first person narration was not amazingly well done. The whole writing style in general wasn't, it was kind of average for a YA book. It was pretty typical. But what I didn't like was there was a lot of cliches in the dialogue and the writing I found. And I, of course, can't think of any examples now, but I know when I was reading it, I'd read something and I'd be like, I've read that before. Like, I've heard that phrase before. Like, it was very cliched. So I didn't like that, really. So yeah, the writing style itself didn't particularly have any uniqueness to it a whole lot, although there were some parts where it was a little confusing almost. I wasn't sure what was going on, so then I had to reread it a few times. So I guess if there was any uniqueness to the writing style, it was that The narrator itself can be kind of messed up. I don't really want to explain that a whole lot because it might give stuff away, but if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. But I just found that some parts it was like, okay, this is really weird. I don't like, what the hell is she talking about? I don't know. Like, she's crazy. What? Like, what? So that was probably the only thing really that I liked about it. But so yeah, I didn't particularly like Mara, and I didn't really like Noah either. I don't know. He just came off as really typical YA, you know, mysterious, sexy boy, and he's from England. And I don't know. I just wasn't. I wasn't sold on his whole mysterious exterior thing going on. It's just, that seems like such an overdone trope in YA male protagonists or secondary characters that I was just like, nah, you seem like I feel like I've read about you before in another book. So I gave it the 4 out of 5 because I mostly liked the story. The writing was kind of average, and like I said, in some parts I felt like it was cliche, like I'd read that kind of phrasing before somewhere, and I was like, yeah, this sounds familiar. And then the characters themselves weren't really anything special. I think the character I liked the most was her younger brother. I forget his name because I read this back in December and now I'm doing the review now and I forget. But her little brother, I liked him, I think, probably the most. I don't know. He just seemed to have the most character. Whereas the main two characters, I was kind of like, we'll see. There's 2 more books, so hopefully it'll develop a bit more, and especially with that ending, I'm very excited to see where that's going to lead to. So I'd still recommend it, especially if you like creepy kind of crazy stories where you're not sure what's going on. Plus, I love this cover. I freaking love this cover and all the other covers too, and I love the way it feels too. When I was reading it, I just couldn't stop touching it. I don't know, it just feels so cool, and yeah, I love this cover. It's so dark and just creepy and mysterious. So awesome cover designs, very cool story. Just the writing and the characters were average. But I like the story so much that I got over that and gave it a 4 out of 5. So I know that sounds kind of biased, but whatever. Yeah, so that's my review for The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.